Hi, I'm Ztarli, and in this video I'll be painting an Eastern dragon sketch. Just a quick heads up, as with most of my videos, this is a time-lapse video, so it does contain fast moving and flashing images. I'll be using a sketch that I created for a tutorial video, which is part of my how to draw Eastern dragons video. So if you want to see how I got to this stage, you can just check out that video. It is recorded in real time though, so it is a very long video. I did spend about an hour planning this dragon's design and sketching it. The sketch itself probably only took about 20 minutes, but because the first part of that video was actually to design what this dragon would look like, there was a lot of time spent sort of thinking about this before I put it together. The actual painting process only took me an hour and 45 minutes. I was quite pleased with how it came out in such a short amount of time. The idea with this, as you can see sort of coming to life at the moment, is I wanted it to be like a lake or a river that was filled with vegetation, so like duckweed and lily pads, and the dragon was cutting a dark path through the water. And I created this effect by using this confetti brush. So I just laid down some of that. And then I actually got the select tool to give it some perspective. So it was less circular and more sort of oval shaped, as if you're looking at from, across the surface of the water. And I was quite pleased at how quickly this came across. I think it looks very much like a duckweed or little weeds on top of a river. And it was very quick and easy to do. So I was quite pleased with this technique. So if you're looking to create a similar image, then yeah, I recommend using something like the confetti tool or something with a strong speckled effect, and then just using a distort tool to create the perspective across the top of the water. I was actually quite keen to color this picture, so when I asked in the original video if anybody would like to see it colored, I was really hoping somebody would, and thankfully Vivine, thank you very much for actually saying yes, you'd like to see it colored. It was just the excuse I needed to finish this picture off. I don't spend a huge amount of time detailing these lily pads, as most of them are actually going to be out of focus, so I will be blurring most of this image and just having the dragon and the path it's cutting as the focal points. So I didn't want to detail these lily pads too much, as it essentially would end up being wasted detail. So this is about as detailed as they get. I do add a little bit of reflected light from the sky, so I add a touch of blue to these, but after that, that's about it. This is as done as the lily pad sketch. I kind of imagine this creature as being a smaller but very fast dragon. In comparison to the water lilies that are on this river, it's kind of like, it's not huge in comparison to them, so I guess it would be about the size of a large dog or something, unless these lily pads are gigantic. But then the duckweed's also got to be gigantic, so I imagine this as a smaller, very fast dragon that sort of just lives underneath, hidden in the darkness. As you see later in the video, I did actually color it very brightly. It wasn't my original intention, but when I started laying the colors down, I did really like what I had just randomly chosen. And though I do make adjustments all the way through, seeing if there were better colors for me to choose from, I ultimately stick with the same colors I chose in the first place. So it does end up being a very bright river dragon, but I feel like in this kind of environment where there's so much vegetation on the surface and the water is so dark that you wouldn't be able to see it once it dips below the surface. And maybe it's got like poisonous barbs or something anyway, so maybe it wants to advertise the fact that you don't want to touch it. So my color layers are now merged to my line layers, so I'm now starting the painting process, and this is sort of a fairly light on painting process. I mostly just use the paintbrush and the smudge tool, so from this point on I'm pretty much only using the bamboo pen, and then for the smudge brush I'm using my felt pen. But I sort of like felt up and down about this as I was coloring it. At some points I was really happy with how it was going, and then I thought I'd like over blurred it and it looked too soft. But once I finished it, I kind of liked the sort of soft feel I'd left it with. It sort of made it look slippery and as if it had just come out of the water. There isn't a lot of heavy shading on this picture, on the dragon itself I should say, but I do still think it looked effective, and I don't know, the colors it ended up with and the texture it ended up with, it kind of made me just want to touch it. I just wanted to pat the slimy dragon. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this picture, so I'll let you enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll chime back in at the end to say my thanks and to show you the finished picture. So I'm just in the final stages of this picture, so I just try one more color adjust before deciding the original color was better. Then I copy the image and paste it back in, and I've blurred it, and now I'm just erasing away the parts I want to be in focus. So you can see on the left there, the top layer is the blurred layer, and you can see the white or the clear part in the middle is where I've erased away to create focus for the picture. It wasn't actually blurred enough in the back, so I do also add a gradient to give the idea or the perception that it is fading away into the distance, and this is perhaps a very wide lake or a wide river and you can't see the other side, so it sort of disappears into the haze in the background. And I just pop my signature on, and there we have it. It's done, and I really like how it came out. I really liked the last couple art pieces I've done. They've come together quite quickly, and I think they're quite pleasing to look at. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like my sparkly river dragon. And if you want to see more like this, then let me know. Well, thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I also have a Patreon if you'd like to support me. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye!